Okay, in this video we're going to do a couple of things. So as you can see, we've got issues with the blanket being kind of dark. We've got this little stain right here, some issues down here. This is why I was talking about their face is a little flat on one side. He has his bump right here. And with this pose, remember we could have put more stuffing underneath his little bottom to pull his legs up. But we're going to use what I was talking to you about called puppet warp. I'm going to show you the beauty of puppet warp to fix that. But overall, this pose is really good. I just want him to make him look a little bit more curly. So just basic edits in Camera Raw. We're missing a lot right here in the highlights, but we had no whites to work with. I don't want to blow out too much, so I'm not going to bounce it up too high. I think that's pretty good. Something to consider with some babies is if you feel like there's too much red or too much orange in their skin tones, you can go into the saturation and you can turn it up and turn it down, and you can see just how much orange they have in their skin. And this is kind of like a first step for that super creamy skin, especially in whiter babies. Now he is a little darker complected, so I'm not going to turn it down a whole lot, but I do turn it down just a bit. That's all I will do in Camera Raw. Don't really need to mess with the blacks. Maybe a teeny tiny bit, not a whole lot. Overall, I'm pretty good with that. So we're just going to open it up. Okay, just right out of the gate, really quick, simple fix is to fix this in the corner. Okay, the first thing we're going to do before we start anything else is we're going to go into puppet warp. So this brilliant little tool is really, really simple, but it looks complicated. So I'm going to explain it first with the mesh on. So you're going to go to Edit and Puppet Warp. And I'm going to say, click on this little thing that says Show Mesh. It's too distracting to me, that's why I turn it off. Okay, the point to Puppet Warp is so you can literally manipulate any part of this image and move it. So it has two features. It can lock something down and it can move something. So what I want to do is I want to move his little body up, but I want to leave his head exactly where it is. So you're just going to go in here and you're going to create these dots. Now I usually put it around his face. And if you put it, press down and move it, it will move. So you see it's like moving it. That's why you got to be really, really light. I just did the undo button. But you can also hover over the pin, hold down the Alt option, and it will remove it. So I'm just lightly pinning it. So it's like you're putting a push pin in his head, his forehead, his nose, his eyes, and that should be good. Okay, so his head won't move at all. So now I want his body to move. So I'm going to start probably at the knee, and I'm literally going to take the knee and I'm going to move it up until I feel he looks a little bit more curly. This is why I turn the mesh off, because I can't see. And I think, to me, that's better. That's a little flat, that's a little curlier. And what I might do is I might do it one more time. So Puppet Warp again, and this is just a personal preference. Lock his face down so it doesn't move. And I'm just barely touching. And as opposed to pushing here, I'm going to probably pull up and move him up and in. Because the goal with this pose is to have their feet pretty much in line with their face. So if you see, put a line through here, it goes through their nose, and then put a line straight through the middle of their forehead, down their nose, in their mouth, down their arm. So you create this like little U shape here. And then I click OK. So you see why I said don't mess with background, because we're going to be fixing it anyway. We've got to fill in this gap right here. But the next thing we're going to do before we do that is we're going to go into the filter. I'm going to fix his face. His face is a little flat and his head is kind of pushed right here. So I'm going to liquify. Okay, so I think I was showing you on my computer how you can do a freeze mask. So say when I'm moving stuff around in Liquify, I don't want his nose to move, I don't want his mouth to move, I don't want his eye to move. It literally freezes it. Then I go back up here to the Liquify tool, and I'm going to pull that cheek out a little bit. And then I'm going to push his head in a bit, and he looks a little elongated. Okay, so we're good here on the Liquify. I'm going to click OK and move forward. Oh gosh, what happened? I guess it didn't finish what it was doing. This head looks a little bit elongated. Click OK. So we're going to compare. That's where we were. Okay, so now we're going to fix this background here. And I basically just use where you have to be careful of the lines in the fabric. Okay. Oops. Alright, so we're going to fix all that. Once we're happy with how he looks, he is not centered anymore. So we're basically just going to pull him down in the middle. I'm just going to take my marquee tool. I'm just stretching this. We will fix it with the gradient tool. Okay. I think I'm pretty much good with everything. Flatten. Do all my skin stuff. Frequency separation. Lasso tool. Especially this is an instance where you can really bump it up just in the forehead area. It's got that shadow going on. Now we can zoom in, grab anything, any imperfections. If they're just little things, I will use the spot healing brush. Not really seeing anything else. Actions. Over this. %. Take it down to about 50%. To reds. Now I'm probably going to lighten his forehead quite a bit. It's a little bit dark. Now I think I might have overdone this a little bit. So what I might do is go to this layer. I'm just grabbing a little bit of that. And sometimes I do it too much. So I would definitely go back and redo this. Because it's a little heavy right there. But since I've gotten this far into it, I'm just going to leave it. But yeah, sometimes I overdo it, and you can go back and fix it. Next, I'm going to check levels again. Do lighten of his whole face. Wrong. I was not on my brush tool. I just need it to brighten a little bit. There we go. And we'll brighten this little area here. And these patches. Now you're looking much better. Okay. Let's see what it does if I do soft blue skin. Oh, look at that. Moon Actions are awesome. I love her stuff. She's amazing and brilliant. Great for outdoor work. Okay, anything else? One thing I'm going to work on is this right here. So down at the bottom. Oh, pants. Definitely going to need it darker. Didn't turn that dither on. Might lighten it just a little bit. We can just kind of cycle through these. Nope, I want it on 100%. And it's still a little light for me. I want it just a tad darker. And maybe more blue. Oh. And make sure that there's no gradient on the baby. There we go. Problem fixed. Now we're going to do it at the top. Okay. Make sure we're on the background there. Brilliant. Reverse. Push that baby up. And we're going to push it all the way up above that levels layer. I think that's pretty good. Just a little bit in this hair, and we can fix that. 25%. Push it a little bit. That's it, other than doing our little clarity. Switch that. And that should be it. Other than I would probably go back and redo this image with a little less on his forehead. So, just FYI.